and I'm an actor. Currently, I'm on.
Live across SoCal, this is LA Live News Tonight on Fox 11 Plus.
Now at 8, a massive homeless encampment near the 90 freeway has been cleared. The site had been tied to months of crime, fires, and safety concerns, with neighbors reporting break-ins and attacks. But questions remain about why it took so long to clean up. Good evening, everybody. You're watching LA Live News Tonight. I'm Marla Tejas.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Susan Hirasuna. Tents and mounds of trash in Marina del Rey were hauled away by dump trucks.
Fox 11's Matthew Seedorf. He's live with the very latest on this update. Matthew?
Yeah, well, this is something that neighbors in the area have been asking for months, and nothing has really happened. And this is just day one of what could be a cleanup that takes maybe several days up to a week. Now, go ahead and take a look at this video. This is earlier this afternoon. You can see the bulldozers out there clearing out some of that debris. Then all the trash and the booze and the furniture still there. As we reported last month, neighbors believe there were at some points around 150 people living in this area. What's supposed to be wildlife habitat sandwiched between lanes of the 90 freeway and Marina del Rey. Nearby residents say they've complained about open drug use, violence, and a recent fire, but nothing was done until today. Caltrans out there starting the cleanup on what some say has been a huge mess.
I actually went into the encampment myself and went to go see what was going on. They are choosing to live there. They are building themselves a way to power their devices and live there. They are defecating in the area.
They're getting started, but what comes next? How do they keep them from coming back? What are they going to do to help us actually keep them from setting up shop on our streets?
Those that were living on this state land were given warning about 2 weeks ago that this day was coming, so it sounds like a lot of them probably moved out of there ahead of time. Those that are still there are being offered resources in the meantime. Reporting live time, Matthew Seedorf, Fox 11 News.
Matthew, Jesse there, he had a lot of great questions. Do we have any answers for him? How are they going to stop this from happening again?
Yeah, we're actually going to speak with Councilwoman Tracy Park here momentarily, asking one of the main questions is this fence that's surrounding this area is broken in several spots. It's been cut through, and residents that live nearby want that to be figured out and covered up so that this doesn't happen again.
That area is protected because it's wildlife preserve or some kind of designation like that?
Yeah, it's connected to a wildlife preserve, but it is state land, and it is fenced off. Like, they're trying to keep it, you know, a natural habitat, but that's just not the way it's been recently.
That's not natural at all to have people living there. Matthew, thank you.
A doctor who illegally supplied ketamine to actor Matthew Perry just weeks before his death is sentenced in a downtown LA courtroom, and Fox 11's Christina Gonzalez was one of the reporters inside that emotional hearing.
You guys need to let us through.
Dr. Salvador Plasencia said nothing as he arrived with his attorneys in federal court, where he was eventually taken away in handcuffs after being sentenced to 30 months in prison for selling vials and tablets of ketamine to Matthew Perry. The 54-year-old actor died at his home in October of 2023, the LA County Medical Examiner citing acute effects of ketamine in his death. The anesthetic can be used legally as a therapy for depression, but according to prosecutors, Plasencia acted like a drug dealer. Plasencia, seen here in Fox 11's exclusive images as law enforcement raided his Santa Monica apartment last year, did plead guilty to 4 counts of supplying the drug. Perry's birth mom, Suzanne, also in court today with her husband, well-known correspondent Keith Morrison. Inside the courtroom, he held her trembling body as she accused Plasencia of exploiting the actor's well-documented addiction to make money. The 44-year-old listened nervously as other family members tearfully got through impact statements saying Perry's loss had punched craters in their lives. Plasencia eventually addressing them to say he was sorry. The 2.5-year sentence is somewhat less than prosecutors and the family wanted.
I really don't like to talk about, so let's just cut this off now. Thank you.
The only word from Perry's family as they left the courthouse.
My son has a good heart and he was really sorry.
That's Plasencia's mother with her message for the actor's family.
I'm sorry. I'm feeling what they feel.
Other sentencings coming up next week. The so-called ketamine queen, Jasmine Sangha, she had pled guilty to providing the ketamine that actually killed Perry, and his assistant who pled guilty to giving him the shot with the ketamine that killed him. We'll be on those as well. In downtown Los Angeles, I'm Christina Gonzalez, Fox 11 News.
An elite private school in the San Fernando Valley is now the subject of an alarming lawsuit alleging that a 7-year-old student was sexually assaulted by older students. The parents claim that even after notifying the school about the abuse and bullying, the school took no action.
We could see that perhaps it was something that she was internally battling because she didn't want to be left alone.
Max and Pantia never dreamed they'd be in the office of a sexual assault attorney. But they're here because they claim their now 9-year-old suffered through bullying and worse while a student at Sierra Canyon School. Sierra Canyon is an elite school known for notable alumni like Bronny James, Willow Smith, and the younger Kardashians. Tuition is as high as $40,000 for the lower grades.
She didn't want something bad to happen to her. She didn't want to be forced to go into a situation where she would be forced to do things that she did not want to do.
This complaint details the young girl's sickening experience, forced into a kissing club in one of the school's unsupervised bathrooms by an older student. The parents' attorney said the girl was 7 when she was bullied into joining.
It involved actual kissing of young girls amongst each other, but it led to actual sexual touching and kissing of sexual body parts.
As a mother, the feeling of being hopeless and not being able to protect my child from this harm that 100% could have been avoided.
Pantea claims she notified the school and even did her own investigation. She learned the parents of another young girl filed a separate and similar complaint. Attorney Dordulian has a theory as to how schools can get away with ignoring disturbing incidents like the one suffered by his client. In his experience, schools will call the police, but
the police will come out and will say, okay, there's 6 and 7-year-olds involved or 8-year-olds. There can't be any criminal intent with 7 and 8-year-old children, so there's no crime that's committed. And that's what schools use to try to wash their hands.
And when I brought it up to the school, they just didn't respond to me.
We did ask Sierra Canyon for an interview or a statement, but we didn't hear back. The young girl is no longer a student at Sierra Canyon, and while the parents worry about the longer-lasting effects on their daughter, they're also worried about the older girl, described by them as the ringleader. The concern is her behavior may be the result of the sexual abuse that she suffered.
A community comes together to honor a fallen hero, Burbank's beloved canine Spike, killed in the line of duty. The service drawing a large crowd outside the Burbank Police Headquarters. Fox 11's Haley Winslow was there for this emotional tribute.
Spike's actions that night were nothing short of heroic.
Investigators say Canine Spike undoubtedly saved lives. Outside Burbank Police and Fire Headquarters, hundreds honored the fallen police dog for his loyalty, service, and ultimate sacrifice to the city, department, and his partner, Officer Corey Salas.
Your presence today reflects just how deeply Spike touched not only the city, but all those across the region.
It was remarkable. It was awesome.
So glad to see all these people that care, that came here, even from different counties, the police officers and the sheriffs with their K-9 units.
The love and connection that they have with their partner is magical.
Too heartbroken to speak, Spike's family listens from the front row as the Burbank police chief delivers their message.
Rest easy, our dear Spikey. You will always be loved and forever missed.
A few days after his 4th birthday, officers say the narcotics-trained Belgian Malinois wearing a bulletproof vest spotted a wanted, armed and dangerous convicted criminal flee into thick brush along the 5 freeway near Buena Vista. Police say the gang member opened fire on officers and Spike, killing the canine before they returned fire and killed the suspect.
You gave this community absolutely everything you had, and your legacy will remain with us always. We will never forget that your sacrifice also ensured the safety of each one of our officers that night.
A memorial for their trusty canine began with a solemn procession, passing kids in uniform lined along the St. Finbar School sidewalk, waving goodbye to the beloved dog they loved to visit at the Burbank Police Station. Draped in an American flag, Officer Salas and colleagues carried Spike's body up department steps to salute their partner's courageous work and end of watch.
Before we conclude, I'd like to read the Canine Pledge. I will lay down my life for you and expect nothing but love in return. I protect all officers with my life and would gladly take a bullet in their place. I am sent in to find children and fugitives on the run. I am first sent in and the last to leave. I protect and serve and would die for any and all officers. I only ask for love and care.
Likely no greater loyalty or love than that from a dog. And for Officer Salas, this was not only his partner in crime, Spike was his best friend. He was part of the family. He was his shadow. The two were very rarely apart. And these police departments, of course, count on canines to be able to go into these very dangerous, high-risk situations so that the officers don't have to. Reporting in Burbank, I'm Haley Winslow, Fox 11 News.
They're truly more than just a dog.
Well, truly, an officer.
Yeah.
And also the family dog. Can you imagine?
No.
My dog that sleeps at the foot of my bed, I can't imagine ever doing anything heroic. But I would be devastated if anything happened to my little dog.
Of course. Yep. All right, still ahead at 8. A Pentagon watchdog review finds Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth violated military protocol and endangered troops with his signal chat. The full report.
Plus, home for the holidays, the first Eaton Fire survivor returns to a rebuilt home on his property. We were there for the emotional moment.
Been some cold nights lately, but it gets even colder tonight. We're expecting overall the coldest temperatures since the springtime. We'll talk more about those cold nights, nice days, and also Santa Ana winds with a wind advisory. My forecast coming up.
dramatic video of a plane crash in San Bernardino County. The U.S. Air Force says a Thunderbird jet crashed during a training mission. This is video from X. It happened in Trona just before 11 this morning. You can see the pilot there. He was able to safely eject from the jet. He's not hurt. There was also no damage to any property. The cause is still being investigated. New calls tonight for Secretary of War Pete Hegseth to resign.
They come amid a new watchdog report about his role in a leaked group chat with administration officials earlier this year. Fox's Connor Hansen has an update on what's being infamously dubbed Signalgate.
After a months-long investigation, the Pentagon Inspector General says Secretary Pete Hegseth's use of a Signal group chat, quote, could have resulted in failed U.S. mission objectives and potential harm to U.S. pilots. And that Hegseth laid out specific mission details in the chat with other top cabinet officials ahead of a strike against Houthi rebels in Yemen. But added to the chat by mistake was a journalist from The Atlantic. Hegseth has maintained that he used his power to declassify the information before sending it out. A Pentagon spokesperson called the Inspector General report a total exoneration, adding this matter is resolved and the case is closed. Democrats in Congress aren't convinced.
The fact that he's standing on the legal principle that his ability to declassify cleared him, I don't think passes a smell test.
That put those pilots flying those strikes at risk.
The report comes as Congress investigates deadly strikes on alleged narco-terrorists in the Caribbean and the reported killing of 2 survivors clinging to the wreckage. Secretary Hegseth says he didn't witness the follow-up strike, but says the admiral in charge made the right call. President Trump says he'd release video of the second strike if it exists.
I don't know what they have, but whatever they have, we'd certainly release, no problem.
President Trump says he stands by the boat strikes and says strikes on land targets could happen soon as well. In New York, Connor Hansen, Fox News.
In the San Fernando Valley, 2 people are dead, a father and a son, following an officer-involved shooting in a Lake Balboa home. LAPD officers got a call about a mentally ill man fighting with his father this morning and allegedly stabbing him. When officers arrived at this home on Valerio Street, they forced their way in and opened fire to stop the bloody attack.
The male adult son was assaulting his father, and there was also indication that the male adult son had assaulted family members in the past here. When the officers arrived here to the location, they did hear a fight or a struggle inside. They forced entry. They observed the suspect assaulting the victim, and that's what resulted in an officer-involved shooting.
The suspect was killed in the shooting, and the father died of his stab wounds. Detectives say a pair of scissors located at the crime scene could be the murder weapon. Coming up, a Black Friday break-in. A thief ransacks a liquor store and passes out drunk in the bathroom.
But a human didn't do it. That raccoon did. How its hangover is going. We'll have that next. He never took off his mask.
Weather is sponsored by My Home Sold.
Looking live from our Mount Wilson camera.
I think, Adam, tonight, you've forecasted to be one of the coldest nights that we've had in a long time, right?
Yeah, this should be the coldest night since certainly April, but possibly even March, depending on exactly how cold the temperatures get. But the point is, we're talking about a cold night, and if you're one of the people that have been holding off on running the heat at night, this might be the one that puts you over the edge because, again, it's going to be pretty cold. The following night will be very similar as well, but during the day, sunny and nice weather. By the way, I should mention this is the live view from Mount Wilson right now as we have a pleasant, but again, chilly night ahead. Also, winds are going to be quite gusty in some areas, mainly the typical Santa Ana wind-prone spots. So that's kind of on our headlines here. Again, with these cold nights, maybe the coldest since spring, most likely, I'd say, the next few nights. Santa Ana winds with a wind advisory in some spots, and then we have a big warm-up on our 7-day forecast. We'll get to that towards the end of this weathercast right here. But let's start with temperatures for this evening. So it's 50s for most right now. Notice how the numbers are dropping on the way into the 40s after midnight. I think we'll bottom out mid-40s around downtown L.A., and much of the greater L.A. area will be in the 40s at some point late tonight, early tomorrow morning before the sun comes up. Then these dark blue colors here across a lot of the high desert and the mountains showing where temperatures will be possibly around or below freezing. But we go from there, 40s in the morning to around 70 in many spots in the afternoon. So a big temperature range. It'll be comfortable, though, during the day. And not that big of a temperature spread tomorrow from the coast to these far inland areas. You know, sometimes it can be like 20 degrees warmer or more in the IE versus the coast. Well, tomorrow it's more like upper 60s along the coast, around 70 inland, some low 70s as you go a little farther inland, but not much more of a difference than that. Now, again, we're also talking about Santa Ana winds, which are cranking up. We saw those kick in today. They're going to continue into tomorrow because the winds between this high and this low are accelerating. And when we say Santa Ana wind, we mean offshore winds. And by that, we're talking about winds basically blowing from the northeast, from the land towards the ocean. These areas in tan right here is where we see the wind advisory. Some of the lower elevation spots within this wind advisory area, gusts could be up to 45, but in the higher elevations, gusts could be up to 55 miles per hour. That advisory ends at 3 p.m. tomorrow. Okay, Futurecast now is going to show, we talked about that high and that low. This low moves away. High pressure is going to kind of nudge in here as we get into the weekend and next week. So that's going to do a few things. One, it will bring our temperatures up a little more. Two, it's forcing what we call the storm track, basically the river of where rain and snow and storm systems will be passing. That's going to hold right over Oregon and Washington for at least the next 7 days. So there's going to be persistent wet weather there. We're going to stay protected from all that wet weather. You can see on the 7-day rain outlook, almost the entire state of California, with the exception of the far northern part, will be totally rain and snow free over the next 7 days. Okay, low temperatures going day by day. So tomorrow morning for LA, we're thinking about 44 degrees, then 45 the next morning on Friday morning. And then the low temperatures gradually coming up a little bit with some lows back in the 50s by next week. High temperatures day by day. This is looking nice, around 70 degrees the next few days. Sunday's a little bit warmer. Next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, temperatures are pushing into the upper 70s for the coast. It'll be 60s for a while with some 70s next week. And the valleys and the IE around 70 to low 70s for the next couple of days. Pushing up towards the low 80s, though, by Tuesday and Wednesday. Back to you.
Still ahead, time is running out for lawmakers to reach a health care deal before premiums skyrocket for millions of Americans.
The proposal is currently on the table. That's next.
Live across SoCal, this is LA Live News Tonight on Fox 11 Plus.
This weekend marks 11 months since the Eaton Fire broke out in Altadena, destroying thousands of homes.
Today, the first Eaton Fire survivor officially returned home to his property. Fox 11's Nick Garcia with a milestone moment.
There you are. Ted Kerner and his dog Daisy May are the first Eaton Fire survivors to return home to a rebuilt house. And on the new walls, something old.
I backed up the driveway, opened the door, walked in the house, took this picture and that picture off the wall, got back in the car and left.
In the 11 months that followed that night, Ted battled the permitting process. We first shared his story back in June. Now he's looking forward to hosting the friends who kept him going this holiday season.
I look forward to looking those people in the eye in this house forever.
Ted and Daisy May won't be the only ones to return to this area.
Now it's time to refocus and look at what the impediments are. And the one thing that's coming back is financially. Not everyone has a retirement that they can pull from to front load the build.
Because of Ted's determination, his house was finished ahead of schedule.
When we signed a contract, we said 6 to 8 months coming back home, and we made it in 4.
And it was built tough, with a concrete roof and tempered glass windows.
We ended up with a house that's pretty much a fortress against fire.
Nick Garcia, Fox 11 News.
Welcome home.
Yeah, I mean, what a milestone, and the fact, though, that as Catherine Barger, the supervisor, pointed out, you know, he's lucky that he had the retirement to front load everything, which not everyone does, to her point.
Well, and he said that whenever he ran into a roadblock or something, that her office was so receptive and responsive. But I frankly know people who would complain that they do not have the same kind of luck.
Right.
They've run into all kinds of issues. Not all of them can be fixed by the county supervisor. I'm just saying that he was lucky in a lot of ways.
All right, let's get to this Waymo story now.
Reaction as a Waymo car drives through an active police standoff. The driverless car in downtown LA makes a left and runs into this. A suspect lying in the street with dozens of armed officers just feet away. Waymo responded saying the car was following other cars driven by humans in the same area, and it got out of the way in a few seconds. Waymo adds the passenger in the car during all this drama arrived safely at their destination. Now, we asked LAPD what started the standoff and what the suspect was wanted for. A spokesperson told us they have no additional information at this time. I can attest they say that often to reporters who call.
Right. But this is one of the things that Waymo has to contend with, especially in Los Angeles, with all the pursuits that we have and end of pursuits and standoffs that we cover.
It's true, right? LA. We love you, LA.
That's right.
Tonight, a warning from the Anaheim Police Department about some technically savvy car thieves. Within the past 2 weeks, officers have come across thieves using sophisticated equipment and computer smarts to steal cars. Both incidents happened in Anaheim Hills. In one, thieves smashed into the car, then plugged a tablet into the car's computer system, reprogrammed the car, then drove away. The other theft happened while the car's key fob was inside a home.
Using some sort of antenna to pick up the signal from your key fob that it's inside your house. They're taking that signal, relaying it over to somebody at your car. It unlocks the door, they get in, they push start, and off they go.
Police say one of the best ways to keep your car safe is to park in a garage, but if you have to park on the street, make sure you are under a street light. Another option is to lock your steering wheel with that good old-fashioned club. They still exist.
I was just going to say, those are still around, huh? The deep sea search for an airplane that vanished more than a decade ago set to resume. Malaysia's transport ministry announcing the search for Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 will begin again December 30th. The Boeing 777 was carrying 239 people on a flight from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing in March of 2014. It disappeared from radar shortly after takeoff, sparking the largest search for survivors in aviation history. According to satellite data, the plane changed course and traveled south toward the Indian Ocean, where it is believed to have crashed. Millions of Americans are extremely worried that their 2026 health insurance premiums are going to skyrocket once Obamacare subsidies expire.
And lawmakers on Capitol Hill are running out of time to come up with an alternate plan to keep costs down. Fox's Rebecca Castor has more.
With the holiday recess just around the corner, the healthcare debate is front and center on Capitol Hill, as COVID-era health insurance subsidies are set to expire at the end of the year and send premiums skyrocketing.
If we fail to act, if we fail to do something relatively soon here, the consequences are severe to people.
Democrats want to renew the subsidies, and they even shut down the government to try to force Republicans to do so. They fell short of that goal, but did secure a promise for a health care vote before year's end. What proposals both parties plan to put on the table, though, remains unclear.
We've got some members, as you know, who want to work with them in a constructive way on something that could be a bipartisan solution, but that hasn't landed yet.
We're willing to talk to anybody who's going to lower costs. So far, the Republicans are in total disarray and have no plan. We have a plan.
Some GOP ideas include giving money directly to Americans instead of insurance companies and ending taxes on health care, while Democrats want to reverse cuts to federal health care programs.
If you said there's going to be no taxes on any medical expenses, boy, that would help people immediately.
We believe in strengthening Medicare, Medicaid, and the ACA, because these programs are not partisan luxuries. They are lifelines for so many Americans.
Bipartisan talks seem to have stalled here on Capitol Hill, and it's looking more likely the ACA subsidies could expire without a new plan in place. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
President Trump is moving to roll back fuel economy rules for cars and trucks.
The rollback undoes policies aimed at promoting cleaner, more efficient vehicles, including electric cars. The plan would lower mileage requirements to about 34.5 miles per gallon by 2031, down from more than 50 under the Biden-era standards. Trump says it will make vehicles more affordable, saving buyers around $1,000 per car. Automakers support the move, but environmental groups warn it will increase pollution and worsen climate change. Governor Gavin Newsom is slamming President Trump's plan to weaken fuel economy standards, saying, quote, Donald is handing his big oil donors exactly what they want: weaker protections for consumers and bigger profits for polluters. Newsom says California will keep defending stronger standards that save families money and protect public health.
Well, attention, all downtown LA drivers. Starting tomorrow morning, a major street closure, Pico Boulevard between LA Live Way and Figueroa Street, will be closed through March 31st of 2026. It's for work on the LA Convention Center expansion project, which will connect the existing South and West exhibit halls above Pico Boulevard. Metro Bus Line 30 will be rerouted to Olympic Boulevard between Fig and Union. The revitalization project will create 15,000 new jobs. From the world of sports, the Clippers have cut ties with veteran point guard Chris Paul after a 3-hour meeting yesterday. The 12-time All-Star was released overnight as LA struggles to a 5-16 start. Reportedly, head coach Ty Lue had not been speaking with Paul in recent weeks. Clippers president Lawrence Frank called Paul a, quote, legendary Clipper and said, "We are not scapegoating Chris Paul." We'll have more on this tonight at 10 o'clock. The 2026 FIFA World Cup is set to be the biggest yet. A record 64 nations will be in Friday's final draw.
42 spots are already set, but 22 teams in Friday's draw are headed to playoffs for the final 6 spots. In all, there will be 104 matches across 16 North American venues, capped by a first-ever halftime show at the final in New Jersey. Argentina, led by 39-year-old Lionel Messi, looks to repeat as champion. Several other nations, including Cape Verde, Curacao, Jordan, and Uzbekistan, make their World Cup debuts. And the road to the final all starts this Friday with a star-studded draw.
Celebrity presenters Tom Brady, Aaron Judge, Shaquille O'Neal, and Wayne Gretzky will help determine the first-round matchups by selecting balls from 4 different pots, which will then be divided into 12 4-team groups. FIFA's top-ranked teams, plus co-hosts Canada, Mexico, and the United States, will all be seeded, which means they can't face each other in the first round next summer. No more than 2 European teams can be in any one group, and no more than 1 from any other region of the world. 6 balls will serve as placeholders until March, when the final few teams qualify for what's going to be the biggest World Cup in history.
Well, you can watch the draw live on Fox 11 and the Fox Local app. It's December 5th, starting at 8:30 in the morning. Fox 11's Sandra Endo will be live in downtown LA at a premiere watch party. Ooh, the excitement.
Oh, yeah, and she's perfect for it because she's Miss Soccer herself.
Indeed.
Yes.
As are kids.
That's true. It's time to start Christmas tree shopping, but are you a real tree person or an artificial tree person? It turns out both can leave you sneezing and coughing.
Fox's Marianne Rafferty spoke to a specialist to find out why this time of year can mean misery for allergy sufferers.
While the saying goes, there's no place like home for the holidays, many of our dwellings could be hosting a slew of seasonal allergens.
So the more time we spend indoors, especially as the temperatures get colder, the most common indoor allergens are typically dust mite, and then of course your animals like pets.
According to Dr. Victoria Wynn of The Ohio State University, even your tree could be an allergy trigger.
So there's something called Christmas tree syndrome, and it is related to when you pick up a fresh Christmas tree from the farm, there are mold spores in there that are dormant. The molds typically are dormant when the temperatures are cold, and then as you bring the Christmas tree indoors and there's more humidity and warmth, it can actually activate mold spores. You can also get symptoms from artificial products, like artificial trees or your decorations in the home if they've been stored in areas where dust might accumulate.
Allergy symptoms can vary, but most people experience
runny nose, itchy eyes, sneezing, congestion as well.
There's also a variety of different treatment options.
The first would be avoidance measures, where we would want to know what you're allergic to so that we can try to modify behaviors either at home or in the environment to help prevent exposures. Medications would be the next step. And then the third option would be immunotherapy.
Allergens aside, the cold air this season can also cause negative reactions, including runny noses and hives. I'm Marianne Rafferty, Fox News.
Well, speaking of cold air, coming up, we're going to check in with Chief Meteorologist Adam Kruger.
Right, we've got temperatures going from cold in the morning to nice in the afternoon. You might want to dress in layers. In fact, the next few nights, maybe the coldest since the springtime. That forecast coming up.
Knott's Berry Farm in Buena Park has transformed once again into Knott's Merry Farm for the holidays with all its nostalgic charm. There's a tree lighting ceremony every night, Santa's Christmas cabin, Mrs. Claus cookie kitchen, dancers and singers, and a whole lot of wholesome fun. And the array of festive foods is one of the main draws for the grown-ups. The enchanting winter wonderland runs through January 4th, but it is closed on Christmas. The Grinch is back at Universal Studios just in time to spread his special brand of holiday cheer.
Fox 11's Brooke Thomas is back, even after this incident with the Green Menace last year.
Makes you happy, Brooke?
I don't know. Christmas, my nephew.
Oh, your nephew?
Yes.
And what's your nephew's name?
His name is Aston.
Aston? Ooh, sounds like a star. Hi, Aston. Happy holidays. Tell your aunt to get you a big present.
Oh, wait a minute. Calm
That's
down.
right. That's right.
Calm down.
Maybe some of those slippers you got on. Yeah. Yeah. I didn't show up to work in my pajamas. Fired. So fired.
Oh, so fired.
Yeah.
Brooke survived the embarrassment and returned today to see what the Grinch had in store for her this year.
Hey there, Merry Grinchmas. I am here with the cutest member of Whoville, Max. Yeah,
right.
you thought I was talking to you.
Well, I understand. Max is beautiful. Aren't you, Max?
I gotta say, you're pretty cute too, Grinch. You are, yeah.
Yeah, I try.
Behavior?
It's something. It's something.
Speaking of your behavior, you know, so my colleagues are still having a little fun with the fact that you called me out. First of all, you said that I showed up to work in my pajamas. I did not. It just was. It was
laundry day. It was laundry day. We all have it. We all have it. It was laundry day. It happens. I totally understand.
How much fun are you going to have with people this year during Grinchmas?
About a 6-7. It's going to be a great time. I can't wait to meet everybody. So come see me at Universal Studios Hollywood and come meet Max. It's going to be great.
Max, do you want to say bye? Yeah. Max does want to say bye. Merry Grinchmas.
Merry Grinchmas.
Hey, you should know that coming and hanging out in Whoville with everyone who lives here, that's free with your Universal ticket. So just come, have fun, enjoy the entire park. It's different around Christmas. Do it, right?
Yeah. Just do it. Buy the tickets now. Go to the link. I'm sure there's a link somewhere. Yeah.
Back to you.
Or not. Buy it in person.
Reddy's like, get out of my way.
They're so entertaining.
Walk on over here.
I want more Grinch, more Brooke, more Max.
Bye, Max.
Oh.
Bye. Smell you later.
Oh my God.
I love the burps. And if they go this weekend, it's going to be nice because we're warming things up.
Yes, and it's kind of the theme we've had this week, where the nights are cold, the daytime temperatures are nice. This weekend will be kind of the same story. But no, that was very funny, and I like how both were in character, the dog and
I know.
I'm telling you, a couple times I'm like, are you sure that dog is real? And then he barked.
Yeah, bark on command, burp on command.
Yeah.
Boom, you got it down. And of course, none of us ever wear slippers or any comfy shoes around here, right? It's always.
Oh, heck no.
Well, you guys,
I have real shoes on.
Yeah, right.
Tonight we both have real shoes on, but Susan and I will go comfy a lot of times underneath the desk.
Oh, for sure.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's talk about our weather and our temperatures. We'll start right there. Here's a look at the current numbers, which are, mostly 50s to around 60 degrees around a lot of the greater LA area right now. But again, one of our big weather stories is just how cold the nights are going to be. We talked about this before, but a lot of the area will fall into the 40s overnight, maybe a little milder right along the immediate coast down to about 50 degrees there. But with these temperatures, overall, this will make it the coldest night since April or possibly even March, depending on exactly how cold we get overnight tonight. But 40s will be common. So as we look at tomorrow then, look at the jump of the temperatures, though, from the morning into the afternoon. A layers kind of day. It'll be nice and warm, hitting 70 degrees, sunny skies. And over the next week, lots of sun in the forecast. Even the marine layer clouds won't be showing up along the coast. I mean, just clear skies for the most part for a while, and a dry pattern. We also have this wind advisory for these areas in this sort of tan color right here. That's in effect until tomorrow afternoon, 3 o'clock to be exact. But the winds, which we saw today, kind of gusty in these areas, will pick up a little more, we think, later tonight and tomorrow morning. Notice by 9 a.m. tomorrow, you see these red to purple colors showing where there could be some winds gusting over 35 miles per hour. But it's not like that's the only windy spot. There's also going to be some strong wind gusts coming through some of the passes over towards the Inland Empire, like the 15 and 10 where it cuts through the mountains, and also over the Santa Ana Mountains there in Orange County. We'll see some gusty winds there, just not quite meeting the criteria for a wind advisory in those locations. And then as we take you into 3 o'clock in the afternoon, which is when the wind advisory expires, you can see how the wind speeds overall will be lower. Okay, between this low and this high, we've got the winds shooting like this. So blowing offshore, that's that Santa Ana wind, and they're going kind of quick right now. Once that low gets out of here, our winds relax a little bit. And the other thing we're going to see is this area of high pressure heading our way this weekend, which does start to bring our temperatures up, especially by Sunday. And then next week, that high really settles in over California, and that's going to make for some even warmer temperatures. You might call it like a December-style heat wave coming our way next week, meaning it'll be quite warm for December, not, warm for other times of the year. So the 7-day has us with lots of sunshine, nice afternoon temperatures, 70 tomorrow. Notice the nighttime low down to 45, and then 70, then 47. Another nice day, cold night. 69 to 49, nice day, cold night. Those lows getting more so into the 50s by next week. And then check out the highs, 73, 76, 78, 78 right there. So that's that pretty substantial warm up, at least by winter standards, by the middle of next week. Over to the coast, it'll be close to 70 tomorrow, and then some 60s, pretty nice over the weekend. 70s, though, showing up next week. For the valleys in the Inland Empire, we'll go from 70 tomorrow down to 39 tomorrow night. So, again, really cold in some of the valleys in Inland Empire spots. Notice the temperatures by Sunday going to the upper 70s, and probably a couple 80s coming up next week on Tuesday and Wednesday. Back to you.
All right, Adam, thank you. We still have more news ahead at 8.
But first, here's a preview of what's coming up at 9. Improving transparency in LA County jails. Our first look at new body camera for sheriff's deputies. Plus, pushing the importance of special education in schools. Why some are concerned schools are lacking critical support for people with disabilities. That's ahead at 9. A big honor for the Jonas Brothers and their 20th anniversary.
They put their hand and footprints in cement at the TCL Chinese Theater in Hollywood.
Hands up, let's see them. All together, all together. Hold up the hands.
Standing out as one of the most successful groups of the 21st century, Jonas Brothers, Kevin, Joe, and Nick Jonas have sold north of 20 million albums and counting, garnered 2 Grammy Award nominations, earned 26 Billboard Hot 100 hits, and so much more. The brothers expressed their appreciation for the special honor and reflected back 20 years ago visiting Hollywood.
One day, what if we could have one of these? So to do this is an honor, and we can't wait to bring our families and show them.
Checked everything out. We saw the hand and feet footprints everywhere, and you know, one day you dream that maybe it could be you, and now it is, and it's pretty special.
It's great to look out and see the multi-generational effect of the fan base now.
Well, speaking of the fans, they showed up for the brothers. Today's ceremony coincides with their holiday, A Very Jonas Christmas Movie on Disney+. Their new album called Greetings from Your Hometown, and the brothers are on tour.
Check your Spotify. Wrapped is out. It reveals the sounds that define 2025, compiled more than 700 million listeners.
And one artist is topping the global charts for the 4th time. Bad Bunny is Spotify's global top artist, dethroning Taylor Swift for the first time in 3 years. Puerto Rican star earned almost 20 billion streams globally. Bad Bunny also had the most streamed album. The soundtrack to the movie K-pop Demon Hunters was #2. As for songs, Bruno Mars and Lady Gaga's Die With a Smile was streamed the most worldwide. And another Bruno hit with Rose, APT came in 3rd. Billie Eilish's Birds of a Feather was 2nd, and Taylor Swift remains the most streamed artist in the U.S.
Yeah.
Is that how I was supposed to say it?
No, I don't think so.
This is an unbelievable story, right? A raccoon ransacks a Virginia liquor store, but it didn't just go after the food.
Our favorite story of the night.
Yeah.
It broke into the booze, then passes out drunk in the bathroom next to a toilet. Now, according to local police, the raccoon got into the liquor store through the roof on Black Friday, went straight to the shelves. When employees showed up to work Saturday morning, they saw this mess. But they don't know who did it at this point. Then they discovered the critter broke more than a dozen bottles of booze, made its way to the bathroom, and then passed out. A police officer picked him up and became his designated driver to the shelter.
Can't make this stuff up. It happens, and people just don't realize it. And I actually gave my officer a high five. I was like, fantastic. I wish we had little handcuffs to put on him, you know. And it was just more or less hilarious of where he passed out in the bathroom beside the toilet.
What do they call that when you kneel before the porcelain throne? Is that what they say? Well, okay, so by the way, don't worry, the raccoon is okay. The local shelter said besides dealing with the obvious hangover, the animal will be fine. The raccoon was released back into the wild once it sobered up. Still wearing the mask, by the way.
I want a toxicology report. What was the blood alcohol level?
But why did the animal go for the bottles of wine or whatever, the bottles of booze?
Do you blame him?
Well, I don't, but you know, if I was a raccoon, I'd go for the Cheetos.
Maybe, and then wash it down.
And then wash it down.
Yeah,
you're right. They need that moisture.
All right, don't go anywhere. We are not done yet.
LA Live News Tonight continues at 9, right after the break.
Live across SoCal, this is LA Live News Tonight on Fox 11 Plus.
Now at 9, a disturbing case of animal cruelty. A local man fresh out of jail for assaulting a coworker with a metal pipe brutally kills a pregnant dog. We're live with the charges. Plus another act of hate during the holidays. A local synagogue vandalized during a peaceful gathering inside. We speak with the rabbi about what happened. And the temperatures are dropping, so how cold are we going to get? Chief Meteorologist Adam Kruger with a preview.
Well, it should be the coldest since springtime, with many areas dropping into the 40s around greater LA, even mid-40s around downtown. And tonight's not the only cold night coming up. We'll have more on that in our forecast coming up. Susan?
Good evening. You're watching LA Live News Tonight. I'm Susan Hirasuna. A disturbing case of animal cruelty. An Orange County man accused of a horrifying act involving a pregnant dog. But what led investigators to his arrest? We have to warn you, the details in this story may be disturbing to viewers. Let's go now live to Fox 11's Ed Lascos with the story. Ed?
Susan, this one is as nasty, as grisly as it gets. A dog is killed, its neck snapped. And we're not talking about a big dog here like a pit bull that might have had a chance to protect itself, had a fighting chance. No, it's a small Maltese, 6 years old, never had a chance in the attack. No wonder prosecutors here in the OC are calling this a pure act of evil. To the video we go. Check it. This attack happens early Monday morning in this alleyway. It's off of South Brookhurst Ave here, Brookhurst Street actually, in the Little Arabia section here in Anaheim. In any event, investigators say the man pulls up in his SUV early Monday morning. He is seen with a rope in his hands as he gets out of that SUV, and it's all right in front of security cameras, and that security video is why they make a quick arrest in this case. Trust me, though. Trust me, you do not want to see the video of this grisly attack, how it happened. The prosecutors have seen that video, though. Listen.
Tied the center of the rope to the dog's neck, looped it around the neck of the animal, and tipped the crate out so that the dog could exit the crate. So clearly the dog was alive, was walking around, and this individual then got it back in the vehicle and accelerated forward and snapped the dog's neck. After he snapped the dog's neck, he got out of the vehicle to make sure that the dog was dead. She was pregnant with at least 2 babies, which is just another layer of horrificness. Yeah. There really is a special place in hell for people who do this to animals, and our district attorney has made it unequivocally clear that he will pursue the maximum sentence.
Now live, a special place in hell, she says. Did you hear that? Also talking about the maximum sentence here. The suspect in this case, 58 years old, a man from Buena Park. He's now in custody, being held at the Orange County Jail. But he's a legal loser, to tell you the truth. He's up on probation, and he pleads guilty last month to attacking a co-worker with a metal pipe, injures that worker. There's also drug-related charges. Now you have this charge of animal cruelty. They are all felonies. So if convicted, this man could get 13 years in state prison. And Susan, the prosecutor, here in the OC are sending a clear message with this, saying if you commit an act of animal cruelty here in this county, they're going to get you and they're going to send you away.
And it's absolutely horrible to think about it. This man clearly has a lot of issues. Did he have a record, do you know, prior to that incident with a coworker where he hit him with the metal pipe? That seems to be the beginning of this awful story, but perhaps there was more before that?
Well, I think the record before that indicated drug-related charges, and that's why it actually amped up the sentencing here, because they say there was like perhaps his third drug arrest, if you will, because when they picked him up on this case here right down the alleyway, they found drug-related activity and materials in his vehicle. So yes, the charges here piled up from several months actually.
Okay, terrible. Thank you, Ed. Only on Fox 11 tonight, bulldozers are rolling into a massive encampment in Marina del Rey after months of crime, violence, and neighbor frustration. Fox 11's Matthew Seedorf's reporting last month could have sparked action, and he's back out there tonight with the latest on the cleanup. Matthew.
Well, Susan, this cleanup is something that residents here have been pushing for weeks and without really any luck until today. And this is just day one of what could be a week-long cleanup. Go ahead and take a look at this video. You can see the bulldozers at the site today clearing out some of that debris, then all the trash, booze, and furniture left behind. And again, as we reported last month, neighbors believe there were as many as 150 people living there at one point. And what's supposed to be a wildlife habitat sandwiched between lanes of the 90 freeway in Marina del Rey. Nearby residents also say they've complained about open drug use, violence, and a recent fire, but nothing was done until today. Caltrans out there starting the cleanup on what some say has been a huge mess.
I actually went into the encampment myself and went to go see what was going on. They are choosing to live there. They are building themselves a way to power their devices and live there. They are defecating in the area.
They're getting started, but what comes next? How do they keep them from coming back? What are they going to do to help us actually keep them from setting up shop on our streets?
Those living at this site were warned by city officials about 2 weeks ago that today could be happening, and they have been offered resources and given those opportunities. No word on how many people took them up on the offer. Reporting live tonight, Matthew Seedorf, Fox 11 News.
So what do you know in terms of prevention for future encampments, Matthew?
Yeah, and that's one thing that everyone is wondering, because this area is sectioned off in between the freeway and there's holes in the fencing all along the property. We just spoke with Councilwoman Tracy Parks. She says that she's tried getting the governor and the state in on this to come up with a long-term solution. So far, it doesn't seem like there is a plan to get this to stop. So she worries we could be back out here reporting again in a few weeks.
Well, we know that you did the report a month or so ago, so we're going to give you credit for getting the cleanup and making sure that that happened.
Yeah, thank you. And yeah, we'll just see. We'll see how it plays out. I know that a lot of people are anxious to see if they can come up with a long-term fix here.
All right. Well, Fox 11 will stay on it. Thank you, Matthew Seedorf. A doctor who illegally supplied ketamine to actor Matthew Perry just weeks before his death is sentenced in a downtown LA courtroom. Fox 11's Christina Gonzalez was one of the reporters inside the emotional hearing.
You guys need to let us through.
Dr. Salvador Plasencia said nothing as he arrived with his attorneys in federal court, where he was eventually taken away in handcuffs after being sentenced to 30 months in prison for selling vials and tablets of ketamine to Matthew Perry. The 54-year-old actor died at his home in October of 2023, the LA County Medical Examiner citing acute effects of ketamine in his death. The anesthetic can be used legally as a therapy for depression, but according to prosecutors, Plasencia acted like a drug dealer. Plasencia, seen here in Fox 11's exclusive images as law enforcement raided his Santa Monica apartment last year, did plead guilty to 4 counts of supplying the drug. Perry's birth mom, Suzanne, also in court today with her husband, well-known correspondent Keith Morrison. Inside the courtroom, he held her trembling body as she accused Plasencia of exploiting the actor's well-documented addiction to make money. The 44-year-old listened nervously as other family members tearfully got through impact statements saying Perry's loss had punched craters in their lives. Plasencia eventually addressing them to say he was sorry. The 2.5-year sentence is somewhat less than prosecutors and the family wanted.
I really don't like to talk about, so let's just cut this off now. Thank you.
The only word from Perry's family as they left the courthouse.
My son has a good heart and he was really sorry.
That's Plasencia's mother with her message for the actor's family.
I'm sorry. I'm feeling what they feel.
Other sentencings coming up next week. The so-called ketamine queen, Jasvin Sangha, she had pled guilty to providing the ketamine that actually killed Perry, and his assistant who pled guilty to giving him the shot with the ketamine that killed him. We'll be on those as well. In downtown Los Angeles, I'm Christina Gonzalez, Fox 11 News.
Dramatic video of a plane crash in San Bernardino County. The U.S. Air Force says a Thunderbird jet crashed during a training mission. This is video from X. It happened in Trona just before 11 this morning. You can see the pilot there. He was able to safely eject from the jet. He is not hurt. There was also no damage to any property. The cause is still being investigated. Still ahead at 9, honoring a law enforcement teammate and family member. The memorial for the Burbank Police K-9 killed in the line of duty. Plus, home for the holidays, the first Eaton Fire survivor returns to a rebuilt home on his property. We were there for the emotional moment.
And one big part of our weather story is the fact that the next few nights will be very cold, well down to the 40s, coldest since the springtime, but a nice warm up during the day. The other part of our weather story, Santa Ana winds with a wind advisory in some spots. We'll get to those details coming up.
A community comes together to honor a fallen hero, Burbank's beloved K-9 Spike, killed in the line of duty. The service drawing a large crowd outside the Burbank Police Headquarters. Fox 11's Haley Winslow was there for the emotional tribute.
Spike's actions that night were nothing short of heroic.
Investigators say K-9 Spike undoubtedly saved lives. Outside Burbank Police and Fire Headquarters, hundreds honored the fallen police dog for his loyalty, service, and ultimate sacrifice to the city, department, and his partner, Officer Corey Salas.
Your presence today reflects just how deeply Spike touched not only the city, but all those across the region.
It was remarkable. It was awesome.
So glad to see all these people that care, that came here, even from different counties, the police officers and the sheriffs with their K-9 units.
The love and connection that they have with their partner is magical.
Too heartbroken to speak, Spike's family listens from the front row as the Burbank police chief delivers their message.
Rest easy, our dear Spikey. You will always be loved and forever missed.
A few days after his 4th birthday, officers say the narcotics-trained Belgian Malinois wearing a bulletproof vest spotted a wanted, armed and dangerous convicted criminal flee into thick brush along the 5 freeway near Buena Vista. Police say the gang member opened fire on officers and Spike, killing the K-9 before they returned fire and killed the suspect.
You gave this community absolutely everything you had, and your legacy will remain with us always. We will never forget that your sacrifice also ensured the safety of each one of our officers that night.
A memorial for their trusty canine began with a solemn procession, passing kids in uniform lined along the St. Finbar School sidewalk, waving goodbye to the beloved dog they loved to visit at the Burbank Police Station. Draped in an American flag, Officer Salas and colleagues carried Spike's body up department steps to salute their partner's courageous work and end of watch.
Before we conclude, I'd like to read the Canine Pledge. I will lay down my life for you and expect nothing but love in return. I protect all officers with my life and would gladly take a bullet in their place. I am sent in to find children and fugitives on the run. I am first sent in and the last to leave. I protect and serve and would die for any and all officers. I only ask for love and care.
Likely no greater loyalty or love than that from a dog. And for Officer Salas, this was not only his partner in crime, Spike was his best friend. He was part of the family. He was his shadow. The two were very rarely apart. And these police departments, of course, count on canines to be able to go into these very dangerous, high-risk situations so that the officers don't have to. Reporting in Burbank, I'm Haley Winslow, Fox 11 News.
Waymo. Oh my God. Oh my God. What the f is that Waymo doing?
Ugh. Reaction as a Waymo car drives through an active police standoff. The driverless car in downtown LA makes a left and runs into this, a suspect lying in the street with dozens of armed officers just feet away. Waymo responded saying the car was following other cars driven by humans in the same area. The passenger in the car during all this drama arrived safely at their destination. We asked LAPD what started this standoff and what the suspect was wanted for. A spokesperson told us they have no additional information at this time. Starting tomorrow morning, a major street closure goes into effect in downtown LA. Pico Boulevard between LA Live Way and Figueroa Street will be closed through March 31st of next year. It's for work on the LA Convention Center expansion project, which will connect the existing south and west exhibit halls above Pico Boulevard. The revitalization project will create 15,000 new jobs.
Weather is sponsored by American Career College.
All right, looking live from the LBC. That's it, isn't it, meteorologist Adam Kruger?
Not much drama there right now, but we've got a nice night, cold night though, coming our way tonight, as temperatures will probably overall be at their coldest level since back in April or even March, depending on how cold we get tonight. And the following night's going to be the same as well. So again, coldest night since the spring. That's headline number one. Daytime temperatures, though, will be fine. It'll be comfortable. We also have Santa Ana winds and a wind advisory in effect in some locations because of that. And then on our 7-day, a big warm up. That's headline number 3. First, let's start with temperatures the rest of this evening and overnight. You can see how we steadily will keep falling, eventually going down to the 40s after midnight, and a lot of the greater LA area will fall into the 40s as well. Here's the overview of the low temperatures across our whole region, and obviously the mountains will be some of the coldest. Parts of the deserts will be the coldest as well, but just a lot of 40s around LA, valleys, Inland Empire, and even near the coast might be just barely under 50 degrees. We go from that, though, up to about 70 tomorrow afternoon. Sunny skies, no marine layer clouds, and I'd say over the next 7 days, for the most part, there will hardly be any clouds in the sky. No marine layer, just nice, clear skies, which, again, results in the cold nights, but nice temperatures during the day. We also have the winds accelerating between this low and this high, giving us a setup for a moderate Santa Ana wind event going on right now. We've had a wind advisory in effect since the start of the day today. Continues into tomorrow until 3 o'clock in the afternoon officially. It's for these areas in this brownish tan color. The lowest elevations, 25 to 35 mile-an-hour winds with higher gusts up to 45, and those numbers are up even a little more for the highest elevations. Gusts could be as high as 55 miles per hour at times through that area. But once this low gets out of the way, you see on the right side of your screen, we see less of that sharp pressure difference, and therefore the winds begin to relax a little bit. Heading into our weekend, well, high pressure is going to start nudging in here, which will start to bring our temperatures up. It's also going to force the storm track, basically the river of storm systems and rain and snow will be stuck over the Oregon and Washington area. all the way into the middle of next week as that high doesn't move much. But notice that high is over California. So for us, we're going to be dry and we're going to be warm. Over the next 7 days, the 7-day rain outlook from NOAA shows really hardly any rain at all over the entire state. The only exception would be the very far northern part of California. Meanwhile, very heavy rain, though, in Oregon and parts of Washington, or at least persistent rain there. All right, now as we look at the low temperatures day by day, so the bottom point, the coldest we'll see, and usually this occurs during the pre-dawn hours every morning. So we expect tomorrow morning, and this is for LA, around downtown, that's our forecast point. We expect about 44 for the low. Assuming we get below 45, it'll be the coldest since March. Then 45 degrees Friday morning, then 47 on Saturday morning, and you see how the nights gradually get less cold as we continue into next week. That's when the lows will be back in the 50s. What about the high temperatures when most of us are actually out and about, right? Well, highs will be around 70 degrees tomorrow and the day after, not much different on Saturday, up a couple degrees Sunday, and that area of high pressure I was talking about really brings those temperatures up into the middle of next week with upper 70s for LA and inland Orange County. Valleys and IE are going to be warmer. The coast, it's going to be 60s for a while with some 70s next week. Here's your high temperatures for the valleys and the Inland Empire. Very nice the next few days and this weekend. Sunday, we're pushing up to the upper 70s with some 80s by Tuesday and Wednesday. Susan?
Thanks very much. Coming up, pushing the importance of special education in schools. Why some are concerned schools are lacking critical support for people with disabilities. Today is the International Day of Persons with Disabilities. It was launched by the UN in 1992 to promote the rights and well-being of more than 1 billion people worldwide. Fox's Krista Mayes shows us how advocates are highlighting the importance of special education.
There you go. According to data from the National Center for Education Statistics, there are 7.5 million students ages 3 to 21 who are receiving special education services under the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act.
This is the federal law that guarantees access to education for all children with disabilities. So back in 1975, they were really pushing for access to the school building for children with disabilities who otherwise would have been excluded.
And with disability awareness advocates marking 50 years since the act was passed, many are still calling for advancements in critical support for students at a time when many schools are struggling.
We have 98% of our school districts in the United States reporting shortages of special education teachers.
Academic experts cite the benefits of strong special education programs.
We find children's least restrictive environment for them. That means finding the most opportunities we can for them to learn alongside their non-disabled peers. We know they are being able to feel like they are an integrated member of their society.
Besides calling for more research to find new ways of teaching students with different disabilities, many special education experts also hope to see retention strategies for teaching staff.
It costs school districts $15,000 to $25,000 every time they have to hire another special education teacher. Just think about where those dollars could go if we could find ways to support special education teachers, to keep them in the field, helping them to meet the needs of students.
Chris DeMeo, Fox News.
Improving transparency in LA County jails. Our first look at new body cameras for sheriff's deputies.
Across SoCal, this is LA Live News Tonight on Fox 11 Plus.
An elite private school in the San Fernando Valley is now the subject of an alarming lawsuit alleging that a 7-year-old student was sexually assaulted by older students. The parents claim that even after notifying the school about the abuse and bullying, the school took no action.
We could see that perhaps it was something that she was internally battling because she didn't want to be left alone.
Max and Pantea never dreamed they'd be in the office of a sexual assault attorney. But they're here because they claim their now 9-year-old suffered through bullying and worse while a student at Sierra Canyon School. Sierra Canyon is an elite school known for notable alumni like Bronny James, Willow Smith, and the younger Kardashians. Tuition is as high as $40,000 for the lower grades.
She didn't want something bad to happen to her. She didn't want to be forced to go into a situation where she would be forced to do things that she did not want to do.
This complaint details the young girl's sickening experience, forced into a kissing club in one of the school's unsupervised bathrooms by an older student. The parents' attorney said the girl was 7 when she was bullied into joining.
It involved actual kissing of young girls amongst each other, but it led to actual sexual touching and kissing of sexual body parts.
As a mother, the feeling of being hopeless and not being able to protect my child from this harm that 100% could have been avoided.
Pantea claims she notified the school and even did her own investigation. She learned the parents of another young girl filed a separate and similar complaint. Attorney Dor Julian has a theory as to how schools can get away with ignoring disturbing incidents like the one suffered by his client. In his experience, schools will call the police, but
the police will come out and will say, okay, there's 6 and 7-year-olds involved or 8-year-olds. There can't be any criminal intent with 7 and 8-year-old children, so there's no crime that's committed. And that's what schools use to try to wash their hands.
And when I brought it up to the school, they just didn't respond to me.
Well, we did ask Sierra Canyon for an interview or a statement, but we didn't hear back. The young girl is no longer a student at Sierra Canyon, and while the parents worry about the long-lasting effects on their daughter, they're also worried about the older girl described by them as the ringleader. Their concern is her behavior may be the result of the sexual abuse she suffered. A peaceful event meant to unite communities took a shocking turn when an anti-Semitic protest with pro-Palestinians broke out. This is in front of the Wilshire Boulevard Jewish Temple in Koreatown this morning. As you can see, things got testy. Things allegedly moved inside where there are reports of vandalism inside the temple. Tonight, organizers and city leaders are responding. They strongly denounce anti-Semitism and emphasize there's no room for hate in the community or anywhere. Authorities are urging vigilance and unity as investigations continue. Tonight, we're hearing from Rabbi Abraham Cooper from the Simon Wiesenthal Center.
You have many of these groups glomming onto the Palestinian cause for every imaginable reason. And on top of everything else, what's different than all the other times? Social media. That is the engine. It's probably the engine of what brought out some people today to protest. And why, unfortunately, I think we can anticipate there'll be more attempts to cross the red line, and I'm hoping that all Angelenos will join us in making sure that doesn't happen.
Mayor Bass releasing a statement tonight. It reads in part, "This behavior is abhorrent and has no place in Los Angeles. I spoke with Rabbi Nickerson to ensure him and his congregation know that the city of Los Angeles stands with them and fully condemns these attacks." Los Angeles County jails are now using body cameras for the first time. Robert Luna, the sheriff, says the cameras are already reducing use of force incidents and improving inmate behavior.
I believe body-worn cameras will have an additional deterrent effect on the number of use of force incidences. Already, we have seen the number of force incidences drop, and this advancement represents a significant step towards ensuring a safer custodial environment for both our staff and those that we are entrusted to care for.
This comes as the Sheriff's Department faces a state lawsuit over alleged inhumane jail conditions, including overcrowding and poor health care. Officials say they've invested nearly $310 million in reforms, but the state claims more changes are urgently needed. Weezer bassist Scott Schreiner and his wife, author Jillian Lauren, are divorcing after 20 years of marriage. According to the LA Times, Lauren filed in Los Angeles citing irreconcilable differences. The split comes months after Lauren allegedly exchanged gunfire with LAPD officers at her Eagle Rock home. She avoided jail time due to mental health diversion. The couple shares 2 teenage sons, and Lauren is seeking joint custody and spousal support. Schreiner is currently touring with Weezer in Australia. All right, look up this week for a dazzling sight. The year's final supermoon will shine brightest tomorrow night. You can also catch it looking full on tonight and again on Friday. A supermoon happens when the moon is closest to Earth, making it appear larger and brighter than normal. This cold moon, named for its proximity to the winter solstice, is the last of 3 back-to-back supermoons this year. So how super are they, meteorologist Adam Kruger, if they happen 3 times in, a short period of time?
Well, a little bigger and a little brighter. At least it appears a little bigger and brighter. And yes, it's because of where it is in its orbit around the Earth. It doesn't take a perfectly circular orbit, so at times it's closer to us, times it's farther away, and therefore it appears, quote, super right about now. So I will also say, though, Susan, so this supermoon also kind of coincides and plays a role in king tides that we have going on over the next few days, where the tides are at their highest and lowest over the course of the year. That'll be the next few days. I just put a video on social media explaining all that because it would take a while to stand here and explain it all once again. But you'll notice that, again, there's unusually high and low tides going on for the next few days. Okay, now on to our temperatures and our cold nights that we have coming up. So here's a look at the current numbers. We'll bring it a little bit closer. Lots of 50s around LA at the moment. LAX, though, reporting 60 degrees and a few other 60s as you go over into Orange County and towards the IE as well. But the point is, temps are going to keep falling overnight. Lots of 40s around the greater LA area. We're calling for mid-40s right in the middle of town, right around downtown, and that will make it the coldest since the springtime, either April or March, depending on exactly how cold we get tonight. But we go from those 40s to around 70 degrees tomorrow afternoon. You can see along the coast, it's upper 60s, 70 for LA, kind of right down in Orange County, and you go a little farther inland, we'll see some low 70s perhaps, but pretty narrow temperature range for most spots on the map right here, but nice and sunny in the afternoon as well. Now, farther north and west of LA, we are going to have those gusty winds with a wind advisory in effect until 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon for these areas in tan. Those winds are blowing in from the northeast. It's an offshore wind or Santa Ana wind going on right now, and you can see what our model is showing as far as those wind gusts. Now, it's going to pick a few cities at random to show you. Notice Santa Clarita's got 30-mile-per-hour gusts, but in between some of these cities, there could be gusts getting as high as 45 to 55 miles per hour in this general area, especially in those higher elevations as we go through tomorrow morning. Also, while there's not a wind advisory out towards the IE, there's going to be those passes, the typical Santa Ana wind-prone spots where the winds will be gusty as well. You can see by the color coding. And then tomorrow afternoon, wind speeds start to back down and the wind advisory ends. We've got those winds kind of accelerating between this low and this high, and you see the direction the winds go clockwise around high pressure, so that's adding to the nature of the offshore wind component that we're seeing for a couple of days. That low moves away, our winds kind of relax as we get past tomorrow, and then high pressure comes in at the end of the weekend and into next week, which is going to bring some warm temperatures our way, and it's also going to force any wet weather pretty much right up through here. So Oregon and Washington will get hit with round after round, day after day of rain and mountain snow, probably for the next 7 days. Meanwhile, here we'll see the opposite kind of weather. Sunshine every single day, probably little to no marine layer clouds during the morning as well. So even for the coast, it's going to be like sunny start to the day. Should be very nice. But those clear skies will give us the cold temperatures at night. So 70 tomorrow, then 45 tomorrow night, and then 70, 47, 69, 49. So that big temperature range and spread from day to night will be with us. Notice how Sunday we're at 73 and then upper 70s for LA next week. For the coast, we've got 60s for a few days. Nice weekend ahead. 70s on the way for next week with that warm up, and then the valleys in the Inland Empire again kind of around 70 tomorrow, and Friday, Saturday low 70s. Sunday those temperatures come up more into the upper 70s, and then we're going all the way to just barely over 80 by Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. In the mountains, we'll see the continued really cold temperatures like we've had lately, well below freezing. Notice those 20s for the forecast lows. 40s during the day, and then 50s, and then eventually some 60s by the middle of next week. In the high desert, we got you at 57 tomorrow, 60s though coming after that, and in the low desert, 70 degrees tomorrow, 70s this weekend, and 80s for next week. Susan?
Thanks, Adam. This weekend marks 11 months since the Eaton Fire broke out in Altadena, destroying thousands of homes. Today, the first Eaton Fire survivor officially returned home. Fox 11's Nick Garcia with the milestone moment.
There you are. Congratulations. Ted Kerner and his dog Daisy May are the first Eaton Fire survivors to return home to a rebuilt house. And on the new walls, something old.
I backed up the driveway, opened the door, walked in the house, took this picture and that picture off the wall, got back in the car and left.
In the 11 months that followed that night, Ted battled the permitting process. We first shared his story back in June. Now he's looking forward to hosting the friends who kept him going this holiday season.
I look forward to looking those people in the eye in this house forever.
Ted and Daisy May won't be the only ones to return to this area.
Now it's time to refocus and look at what the impediments are. And the one thing that's coming back is financially. Not everyone has a retirement that they can pull from to front load the build.
Because of Ted's determination, his house was finished ahead of schedule.
When we signed a contract, we said 6 to 8 months coming back home, and we made it in 4.
And it was built tough, with a concrete roof and tempered glass windows.
We ended up with a house that's pretty much a fortress against fire.
Nick Garcia, Fox 11 News.
Obesity remains a major health challenge nationwide. New CDC data show at least 1 in 4 adults in every state is obese. In LA County, nearly 30% of adults are impacted, with higher rates among women, certain racial groups, and low-income households. Officials are urging expanded access to healthy foods, safe spaces for exercise, and affordable health care. LA County says it's investing in community programs, nutrition education, and physical activity initiatives to address those disparities and promote healthier living. Some shredded cheese products are being recalled due to possible metal fragments. The Great Lakes Cheese Company recalled bags of low-moisture, part-skim shredded mozzarella, Italian-style shredded cheese, an Italian-style cheese blend, and a mozzarella and provolone blend. Brands include Good & Gather, Happy Farms by Aldi, Lucerne Dairy Farms, Sprouts Farmers Market, and Sunnyside Farms. If you have these, either throw them out or return them to the store. From Family Foods is recalling 300 cases of its Bonnehill Farms Beefy Bowls frozen dog food. The company says some rolls may contain plastic. The 16-ounce rolls were sold in over a dozen U.S. states, including California. Impacted food has best by date of December 25th, 2026. Fromm advises stopping use immediately and returning the product to the retailer. So far, no injuries or illnesses have been reported. Up next, it is the holiday event Long Beach waits for all year. Fireworks, falling snow, and a 67-foot Christmas tree. We'll take you there. Plus, guess who's part of the holiday chaos? Film journalist Carla Renata. She talks about her role in the Christmas Showdown premiering this weekend when we come back. But first, another look at the supermoon. Doesn't that look amazing? Try for what? Louis Carr, veteran advertising executive, is named president of BET, Paramount's network focused on black culture. Carr, who's been with BET for nearly 40 years, succeeds Scott Mills, who stepped down after leading initiatives like BET Plus and BET Studios. Paramount says it's restructuring, folding BET Studios into CBS Studios while maintaining its unique brand. Carr, known for driving billions in ad sales and championing diversity, says he's honored to lead BET into its next chapter. Film journalist and favorite here at Fox 11, Carla Renata, usually tells us about other people's movies, but tonight at 6 o'clock, she told Marla Tejas about her own movie.
Congratulations, this is your very first movie.
It is. I was so excited.
It's called A Christmas Showdown.
Christmas Showdown.
The Christmas Showdown right here. I'm like mesmerized by your acting. You're a natural.
Aw, thank you, Marla.
What's The Christmas Showdown about?
It is about these two friends that have been friends since childhood. The one that plays my daughter is Corbin Reed. She plays a young lady who has this job out of town, and she comes home because she's been fired, and she's trying not to let her mama know she's been fired. But then she comes back, and this Christmas Showdown happens in town every year, and her bestie have been on the outs, but this is the thing that brings them together in the true sense of the holiday spirit.
Okay, so this is your first film.
It is.
How did that feel?
It was crazy because, like I was saying to you off the air, in television is very fast. In films, it's like hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, and then you sit there for 8 hours before you say one word.
And this is just to shoot one scene?
No, but they shot all my scenes. I had 3 scenes, maybe 4.
Okay.
They shot all my scenes in one day.
Oh my gosh.
Like back to back. And it was it's an indie budget. You know, OWN is not ABC or CBS or Fox, so it's an indie budget. So the time was very limited, and I had a lot of lines.
And you really, I'm not a movie critic, but hey, I'd give you 5 stars for sure. And that little clip, I can't wait to watch it. So you just
that was my favorite part, and that was Peach Cobbler.
Oh, Peach Cobbler.
It was Peach Cobbler.
Yeah. Almost as good as Pumpkin Pie, or if not better.
Yeah, it hits on December 6th, which is this Saturday at 9 p.m. our time. Everybody else got to check their local listings. And then it will stream on HBO Max.
Okay, good. So many ways that we can see it. I'm going to be watching this. I can't wait. I was proudly
Me too. I haven't seen it either.
I love it. Oh, you haven't?
No.
Oh, are you going to watch?
Yes, I'm watching. They're having a whole little primo party, and I'm going to be there.
Oh, you better be there. Yeah, that's so cool. All right. Okay, now it's your turn.
Now that you're all excited.
I am excited about other people's movies. Lucy Liu.
Yes.
A film called Rosemead. This is really highlighting mental health.
Yeah, Lucy Liu plays an immigrant mother who has a son that's suffering from schizophrenia, and he is about to age out and turn 18, and she gets diagnosed with cancer. So in her last days, she's trying to figure out how she can help them, because they say to her repeatedly in this film, you know, when he turns 18, you're not going to have any control over what happens to him. And it just makes you rethink what the system is like when it comes to people that are suffering from mental illness. Their parents, their loved ones who have to deal with them. You know, when a child ages 18 and the parents don't have control or can't step in and help the child. And Lucy Liu is giving the performance of her life in this film.
Okay.
She's so, so wonderful.
Well, we have some sound from her because you asked her about why communities of color in particular might not be open to discussing mental health. Here's what she told you.
It's like, these are extras that we can't afford. So let's just stick to the fact that you are eating, you got a roof over your head, you're lucky. You know what I mean? Like, don't try to go outside the box because you're not grateful for the things that you have.
So in other words, just deal with your emotions internally and don't express them?
Yeah, people of color have a tendency to not want to share what's going on inside the house, inside the family, and they don't believe in speaking to strangers. There's a big stigma in communities of color, and this film addresses it head on in addition to the other things that I mentioned.
All right, where can we see Rosemead?
It will be in theaters this weekend as well.
Oh, very good. Okay. Then you just stumbled upon this find. It has to do with Blockbuster. We all remember Blockbuster, right? Well, this is a program really called Free Blockbuster. What does this mean? Take a movie, leave a movie.
So you know how they have these little free libraries set up in neighborhoods? Yeah.
Yeah, like this.
Yeah,
basically.
like that.
Yeah.
Set up all over the country. People put up, like, it looks like a little birdhouse, and you put a book in, you take a book, leave a book. It's kind of like that. It's the same concept, but with Blockbuster movies. And with the holidays rolling around and people's money being funny. This is a great way for people to be able to see holiday films without having to really pay for them. You know what I mean? You can put a DVD in or a VHS tape in, and Blockbuster is putting some in there too to kind of help it along.
Yeah, so I like that we describe it as the pop-up kiosks that you might see in neighborhoods, and there's actually a website. You can register yours.
Yep, freeblockbuster.org is the website.
That is so cool.
I love that. I loved that idea.
Well, but then the question becomes, who has a VHS though left?
You'd be surprised.
I know.
I got one. But I'm old as Methuselah, so that's a whole other situation.
I'm trying to think, do we have one? I don't think we do anymore, but I still have the VHS.
Look, I have the VHS tapes, and I will play them VHS tapes until they run all the way out. The tape will be warped.
When I started in TV as a producer, I was on beta at the time.
Okay, that's a whole nother conversation we need to have.
Okay, yeah, let's do that.
It's the holiday tradition that lights up the night. Fireworks, snow, and a towering 67-foot Christmas tree coming up. We're headed to Long Beach to check out all the fun. The NBA and LA Clippers are giving away more than 5,600 free outdoor basketball hoops to Los Angeles families as part of their All-Star Home Court Hoops initiative. Starting today, Angelinos can share their stories at clippers.com/hoops for a chance to win. This program aims to inspire kids to play, increase access to basketball, and promote active lifestyles ahead of NBA All-Star 2026 at the Clippers' new Intuit Dome. Another sign of the holiday season, the 11th annual holiday tree lighting celebration was tonight at the Terrace Theater Plaza in Long Beach. Photojournalist Joab Perez was there.
I think the vibe is very Christmassy. I like it so much. The performances are really, really cute too.
I like how it's all decorated and pretty.
Come on, everybody say hey, hey, hey.
What you got to say? I said, hey, hey, hey. What you got?
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to everybody. Enjoy it with your families.
All right, here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Slow down. 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
The Newport Dunes 35th annual Lighting of the Bay kicked off over the weekend. Dazzling crowds with over 50 floating holiday displays. Santa arrived by boat to light up the bay, while families enjoyed fire dancing, giant inflatables, crafts, and s'mores by the beach. This beloved Orange County tradition runs Thursdays through Sundays until January 4th, with nightly lightings at dusk. That's very cool. Thanks so much for watching LA Live News tonight. Our 10 p.m. newscast is just minutes away over on Fox 11. Hope to see you there. Good night, everyone.